So welcome students. So in this question you are asked to find the sum of all the 256 numbers that can be formed using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you write all the 4-digit numbers using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, the first place can be filled in 4 ways by 1, 2, 3, 4, any number. The second place can also be filled in 4 ways. The third place can also be filled in 4 ways. The fourth place can also be filled in 4 ways. So the total number of 4-digit numbers that can be formed using 1, 2, 3, 4 is nothing but 4 into 4 into 4 into 4 is equal to 256 numbers. So that is, you can have a total of 256 different numbers that can be different 4-digit numbers that can be formed using these 4 digits. Now, the question is, what is the sum of all these numbers? So I cannot write them directly and add them. So I need to think of some technique by which I can do it. So the technique is adding the sums of individual numbers according to their place values, individual digits according to their place values. So that is, what I do is, assume that you write all these 256 numbers. Assume that you're writing all 256 numbers one below the other. Now, in how many of these numbers 1 occurs in the units place? So the digit 1 occurs in units place in how many numbers? So if the digit 1 occurs in units place, so the remaining 3 places can be filled in 4 into 4 into 4 ways. That is 64 ways. So there are 64 times 1 occurs in the units place. So if I add all those ones, you have 64 into 1. Next, in how many numbers 2 comes in the units place? So 2 also occurs in the units place. 2 also occurs in the units place in 64 numbers. 3 also occurs in units place in 64 numbers. 4 also occurs in units place in 64 numbers. So if I add all the numbers in the units place, I get 64 times 1 plus 64 times 2 plus 64 times 3 plus 64 times 4. So if I add all this, I have added all the numbers in the units digit. So the units digit sum has been completed. Now let us go to the tens place. So in tens place, again, in how many numbers 1 comes in the tens place? Again, you have 64 numbers, because out of the total 256 numbers, 1/4 of them have 1s in the tens place, 1/4 of them have 2s in the tens place, 1/4 of them have 3s in the tens place, and the last 1/4 of them have 4s in the tens place. So now, if you add all the 1s in the units place, again you get 64 times 1, 64 times 2, 64 times 3, 64 times 4, but all these numbers are in the tens place, so the place value have to be multiplied, so into 10. Similarly, if you go to the hundreds place, this has place value of 1, so I'll add all them and multiply it with 1. I'll add all of this and multiply with 10. And similarly, if you go to hundreds place, also you have 64 1s, 64 2s, 64 3s and 64 4s. So if you add all of them, 64 times 1, 64 times 2, 64 times 3, 64 times 4 multiplied by 100, and similarly the same thing multiplied by 1000 for the thousands digit. So if you add all this, you get the total sum of the numbers. So if I want the total sum, I add units place numbers, tens place numbers, hundreds place numbers and 1000 place numbers along with their place value, and add everything to get the total sum. So if I add everything, I can directly do it like this. So the sum is 64 times 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. So this 64 times 10 is present here, here, here as well as here. So 64 times 10 I am taking as common. So 1 plus 10 plus 100 plus 1000, that is equal to 640 times 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is the total sum. So if you take 64 into 1, 1, 1, 1, you have 4, 4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 6, 6. So 4, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 7. Last mein you have a 0. So the total sum of all the numbers, all the 256 numbers is 711040. That will be the sum. Thank you.